Hey everyone, Alisha Merlo here, and we are at another opportunity for Countdown to GVAS Fall Summit 2020, where we get a sneak peek and a meet and greet at the fantastic faculty. And I have a special pleasure today of bringing to you somebody that is near and dear to my heart personally and professionally, Miss Katie Scott, who is the training director at Colorescience, which is the company that I also have the pleasure of working at. And Katie is one of our faculty at GVAS, and we're going to learn a little bit more about Katie and what she's going to be sharing with you when you attend the GVAS Summit this fall. Hi, Katie. Welcome.
Hi, Alicia. Hi, everybody.
So great to have you here. And the purpose of us sitting down and doing this little meet and greet is so that the attendees of GVAS and those considering attending GVAS can learn a little bit more about you, what you do, and what you're going to share at the conference.
You know, Alicia, since I entered the workforce, my goal has always been to empower, encourage, and give people specific tools that they can use to advance their own education and career. You know, I truly believe that people come to work because of their loyalty to a mission, as well as mentorship and development and continuing education. So building successful people always equals building a successful business.
And it starts from probably even before that very first day they set foot in the office or log into the learning LMS system, right? That you are so dedicated to making sure that they know that they're not only coming to a place that they get to work every day, but that there's opportunity and defined pathways for development. So now I love your talk, and you kind of gave a sneak peek as to the title worked so nicely into what you just said, which is building successful people to build a successful business. And I believe you shared with me where that title came from.
Yes, so building successful people equals building a successful business. And I really took that title from a famous quote by Zig Ziglar. And I take it to heart because that's exactly what it is all about. Three key talking points that I have in this presentation that I think will be very valuable for anyone who tunes in and listens. We're going to start with something as easy as onboarding and making sure that anybody who comes to your brand, anyone who comes to your practice, your business, has that solid foundation starting on day one. That's so important. The other thing that we talk about in the presentation is career development. I know that it's one of the #1 things that millennials today are looking for when they're deciding whether or not to stay with a company. They want transparency when it comes to career development. So that's something that we talk about as well. And then the last thing I think is so important and something that I take to heart as being an educator, and that's always be learning. It's ABL. So you have to think of creative and fun ways to keep your team and your people really engaged in their learning, whether it's to gamify or whether it's to come up with creative different ways like virtual ways of training and educating. They've got to stay engaged and really use training as a retention tool for your people that way. So it's onboarding, it is mentorship and development, and it's always be learning.
Well, those are three key areas. And one of the things that most businesses understand is that the turnover is one of the biggest expense or costs to any company, no matter the size, whether you're a small medical practice or a very large organization of thousands. So I think getting it right and having a proper plan in place to set your team members up for success, to keep them engaged along the way, and also reinvesting back into them so that they bring value to the practice with what you talked about with always be learning is going to be such an important resource for those attending GVAS. So I for sure am going to be listening in on your session and look forward to that. So let's fast forward to a little bit of a crystal ball because you have such a breadth of knowledge and time in this space. So where do you think the industry is headed? What should we be keeping our eyes out for?
Well, Alicia, that is such a great question. And, you know, it's a virtual world, so I got to be a virtual girl. And I think, you know, businesses are going to continue to rely on virtual platforms to deliver the best in consultations as well as education. And I think that's going to generate more users. It's going to generate more excitement and more people using these platforms. I also think that it's going to generate more potential aesthetic patients when they're going to things like Instagram and they're looking for products and services. So because of this, I definitely think we're going to see those increases in the aesthetic industry going into 2021.
And I cannot disagree with you, considering that all the conferences this year, the way we're all learning, have gone virtual, and the connectivity with patients and the boost in their participation engagement with businesses and brands is gone digital as well and virtual. So I'm right there with you. I think that we have been accelerated this year towards some things, but that's a good place to be. And we'll always be learning because we have the opportunity to come to conferences like this and connect with experts like you. So until GVAS, if somebody wants to learn a little bit more about you or get in touch with you, what's the best way for them to seek you out, Katie?
I think the best way right now, Alisha, is to look for Katie Scott on LinkedIn.
Excellent. That's super simple. All right, everybody. There you have it. Another countdown to GVAS with one of our incredible business faculty, Katie Scott. And you can still grab your spot and catch the summit coming up here in November. And we look forward to seeing you then. Thanks, Katie. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thanks, Alisha. Can't wait to see everybody.